To my left, seat to my right, and I'ma get faded at the tiki bar tonight. Then I'ma rolling up like my name.
It is Friday, Matt. Hold on, here we go. If you really want to know where you can find me, I'll be unwinding with SBF down in the islands, down. Anyway, Matt, the Zac Brown Band Island song from his album Uncaged, my number 3 song of the year in Spotify.
Nice.
Nice. And I got to tell you something. I'm one of those guys, Matt, that I find something I like and I play it a lot. And this is my top songs of the year. Number 1, Is This Love? But Montmartre. I crucified that, I'm sure. A remix of it. It's fantastic. Then Stick Figure with, or Paradise with Stick Figure. Island Song, Zac Brown. Pacific Coast Highway. The Hip Abduction and Trevor Hall. And then
I was just listening to that song this morning. That's funny.
Is that crazy? And this is all from an Island Vibes playlist.
Yeah, clearly.
And you know, when you're out on the deck and you're just grooving and moving, maybe you're weeding in the garden, you know, this is the kind of vibe I like to go with. And we got to let Lee in. We didn't even let Lee in to see my top 5 songs. Matt, why don't you share? I don't know if you even can. Can you share your top 5 songs? Very island-esque for me in 2022.
Yeah, it's interesting about mine, I think, is that I actually have been in the 2-year loop of Bennett Coast, and so he's shown up on my top, much like you. I love his sound, and he's top 2, number 4, number 5, number 9, number 13. Yeah.
Bennett Coast.
And then this year, the new one for me that got thrown in here that gets heavy rotation is Young and Sick. Young and Sick. Young and Sick. Young and Sick.
Yeah, that's how the human mind works, man. You find something that you like, and that's why the AI is going to be great for you. And I saw a tweet today on an AI, just one scene from a supposed movie that the AI wrote. I haven't had the chance to read it yet, but it's crazy how good the AI is getting. Now, we've been sharing every day AI interpretations of a subject matter. And so why don't we jump into that? Let me just show you, because it was unemployment today, right? And so hold on a second here. So I went and looked because we like political cartoons too. And I found this, Matt, unemployment rate and the unemployed. Like the government seems to be fudging the numbers. They wouldn't do that, would they?
No.
Of course they wouldn't. And this is actually, let me give credit to, I can't read, I think it's Eric Alley, Illinois Policy, about, how come part of the unemployment rate, the real rate, is a Cubs fan? First thing I noticed right away. Like, why do you got to do that? What do you got to rip my Cubs as part of the unemployed? Not even part of the actual unemployed.
Losers going to watch losers. I mean, there's a theme there.
Oh, harsh. But then you shared this from Zero Hedge. It's getting silly now. Non-farm payrolls up 263,000. Actual employed workers down 138,000. Matt, in my world, that is an impossibility.
Right. It doesn't make sense.
How can that be?
Well, because the Biden people don't believe in math. They believe in science, but there's no math in that science.
And the market did not like the number.
Well, did it?
I mean, it sold off on the number, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Let me bring it up, because ultimately what it comes down to still is the dollar. We like price discovery, and I'm not going to be able to show you right now. So give me a minute. You talk about it in a minute.
All right,
I'll get it booted up because I do want to show you that chart.
Yeah, for sure, Matt. So speaking of the AI, as far as I'm concerned, this was the most disturbing of my work so far with Night Cafe. and their AI engine in art, right? And so I took that political picture, the first one, right? This one, unemployment rate and the unemployed, and I fed that in to the AI engine as the basis for it to do its work from, right? And then I put in the words, the government is lying. Okay, so that's the AI engine got this, and then the government is lying. And it came up with this. And it's disturbing. It is disturbing. The crazy thing to me, man, when I looked at it, right, it seems to me that it's saying government theft. No, that's that's what I see when I look at it.
Either that or it's bad Russian.
I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting.
But I see that too, now that you point it out.
Right? Government theft. And when the government lies to you, it's stealing from you. That's all there is to it.
And then, that one says something about the CPI. It's mirrored CPI at the end there. So I don't know what that means.
And it's backwards.
And it's backwards.
People, you can jumble letters and make them backwards. And if you know how to read, you can read it.
Which is interesting.
It is interesting. And so a very disturbing share of the government.
And what's up with the alien dudes?
Well, I have a T-shirt, "Real Aliens for Trump."
Like the gray men there. Like that's pretty wild.
So congratulations to the AI. You did a great job. When the government fudges numbers, it is government theft. When they lie to you, it is government theft. Mm-hmm. Because everything spawns from their lies, right? Give us the facts, just the facts. All right, Matt, are you ready? Are you ready to share the charts?
Yeah, I'm ready because I think it's important just to state that I think this market is literally, it's the dollar brick road. Follow the dollar brick road. Follow the dollar brick road. Follow the
dollar brick road. Follow the dollar brick road. Follow.
Yeah. Here it is. Here's the spike. Here's the news. Spike. Dollar goes crazy. Spoos, NASDAQ, Tesla. I'm just, I brought in some favorite names. Hammered. Bonds, hammered. And then dollar begins peaking right there at 545. Still going down. And now everything up. Right? It's simple. Don't overthink this market. If you don't have Tesla, or and I think Tesla's like kind of what the chasers are doing all the time. So I mean, Tesla stays above 190, and that's been my number here, and it went down and tickled it. And then you could have bought it and went up to 197 or whatever it did, and then again just keeps holding. And then so dollar down again, but higher than it was overnight. So again, all we've kind of done is and then come back to where we were, and yet the equities, the bonds made in, they're actually up 28 today, making another new high. And that leads me to want to show you the bond chart, and I don't think I have it ready. So let's
let me circle back before we get to the bonds, Matt. Okay. Interesting here, a share not trading related, but trading personnel on your university football squad. Out of Outkick, a stat the rest of the sports media won't touch, and why won't they touch this? I don't get it. Like, why don't we have debates about all facets of things?
They should have stats on kids that decide to go early to the NBA or the NFL, whatever the league is, right? Or hockey, and how many of them? What's that number? How many of them actually make it to the league by going early?
Exactly. Or 2 years down the road.
Because if you're a coach,
I will say this though: if you can get an NFL contract or an NBA contract and even just one of them, it should set you for life. I mean, honestly,
but in the NBA, if you're not drafted in those first two rounds, it's very unlikely. And if you're not drafted in the first round in the NFL, it's very unlikely that you get that contract that you're talking about.
Right. Anyway, he's saying 60% of football players don't get picked up from the transfer portal. So they're on a team and they don't like what's going on. So they go into the transfer portal. Hey, Rita, shut up. Anyway, the garbage man must be here. My question to you is, of the 60% that don't get picked up, do 100% of those people never see the field again? It's like, hey, coach, I'm going to join the it's like, you better be sure you're going to get picked up because you are riding the pine for the rest of it. And Matt, you pointed out that this the news in the transfer portal is Cade going to Iowa, and you shared this, and I had no idea who this is. The terms of the Jake Ruddock trade have been completed. So explain that to me.
Well, so what happened in 2014, Jake Ruddock was the quarterback the 2 years prior at Iowa, as you can see here, 2013, 2014. He was their starter. And, he had 2,300 yards as a sophomore. He had 2,400 improved as a junior. And obviously, Ferentz decided he wasn't going to be using him because he doesn't like offense. So he went into the portal, and Harbaugh picked him up. And he had his best career, 3,000 yards in 13 games. I mean, Bob, that's 250 a game in college. That's damn impressive, right? This is not the pro game. Michigan runs the ball. So for a quarterback, he had a great year. And again, that was a pretty good year. And I think that was Harbaugh's first year when he came in. So he didn't have a quarterback. And Harbaugh, he fit the model. So the joke is, Cade obviously brought Michigan to 11-1 last year and to the college playoff. Right, he was the starter the entire year, and he blew out his ACL like game 4 after he was benched. Like in a practice, he got hurt, so he's been recovering from his ACL, MCL injuries, and but he put himself into the portal yesterday, and it took less than a day, and Iowa picked him up. So the trade is complete. Ruddock for Cade McNamara. It just took 7 years.
I got to tell you something. When you told me that, he is going to do great at Iowa.
I mean, he's perfect throwing to tight ends and running backs. I mean,
and they're going to run the ball, and it's going to get cold and nasty in November in Iowa. Yeah, especially since global warming is failing us currently.
And I hope it. And Ruddock to your point, he got drafted by the Lions, and he played 3 games. So what the heck. It helped him. He would have never been to the pros just sticking at Iowa, riding the bench. So to the 40% who make it to the transfer portal, it is very beneficial. But you sure need to know those odds and understand them coming in. Otherwise, just have fun your last year in Michigan and Ann Arbor or wherever you are. And, just keep telling the girls you're on the team and go to practice.
I got to say, too, that it's kudos to Harbaugh for letting, he doesn't have really a choice. The kid gets
but it's also the right thing to do because he's a good quarterback. In Michigan, they had another guy transferred to Illinois. They had another the backup at Tennessee played at Michigan. So they let this happens. I mean, they come and go, and guys that have talent that could play somewhere else. Just because you can't play at Tennessee or at Michigan doesn't mean you can't play at Iowa or Maryland. I mean, Maryland's got the former quarterback who is Tua's brother. And he's done great. He would have never played if he stayed at Alabama. Like, it's great for the players because there's a lot of talent that tries to make it at the top, and then they just they get pushed down. But that doesn't mean
not only
but it doesn't mean you can't be a great player and still find your path to the NFL. I mean, that's the great thing I think for these players.
Well, if you're in the top 5 of the quarterback class and 2 of them end up at one school,
right?
You can understand that. And actually, they talked about that yesterday, that quarterback room at Alabama with 3 starting NFL quarterbacks in it.
Right.
Like, unbelievable. And Mac Jones, he stuck it out incredibly. He rode the pine for 4 years or 5 years and then took him to a national championship.
Right. And now and again, everybody's path is a little different. And then it takes a lot of luck, too. It takes a lot of hard work for sure. And a lot of luck. But those stats should be, like if I were coaching in the NCAA, I would want to know all those stats when I sit down with my players. Let them decide with the facts, right? Here's how many people make it to the NFL. They already talked the big numbers, but here's how many people when they go to the portal, this is how it works out for them. If you're not that good, the coach will tell you, hey, nobody's going to really pick you up. But somebody like Cade, they're going to pick you up. And he's not going to play at Michigan. He's not even the backup, so it's a smart move for everybody, and it's a win-win because you can never take away that year of leadership and captainship out of Cade McNamara at Michigan, and I hope he gets to do it at Iowa. I do. I wish him well, and I hope. I don't know if we play him next year. That's going to be weird,
Well, exactly. That's going to be again like.
But I like that.
I'm sure he got his blessing. And And he's going to, it's good for everybody. It's good for the kid. It's good for the league to have more competition.
Absolutely.
Right. Anyway,
100%. Yeah.
great job. Great job. All right, man. What else is on your radar? It's a Friday, so we should talk a little bit more about price discovery. You know what I want to do, Matt, is as I talked about the weekly on maybe Tuesday here in the spoos, and even
Well, go ahead.
Even though there's a somewhat of a setback, and we don't know where this thing's going to close, obviously.
Right.
I want to share the weekly in the spoos because it keeps developing strength here on the weekly. And I said on Tuesday when it was collapsing away, to repenetrate this up momentum level and then to give it away right away is terribly weak. But it has not done that. I just want to point that out. That going forward, I don't see why we don't go trade 42, 4,300 in the spoos before we, if the bear market is going to stay intact before that ensues.
Yeah, and I talked
about
the 4150, 4250, 4350. Those are the levels. You got to get to one before you get to the next. So let's see what happens at 4150. We've been to 4110. So yeah, I mean, I agree with that. And on the long-term charts, it's just we got to kind of wait right now and see how it all works out.
Absolutely. Let me stretch this out so you can see the momentum level this week was 39.93. And so we're clearly above that. Obviously, this thing could shit out at the end of the day. Who knows? Anything's possible in these markets. But right now, that is a healthier looking chart. That is a healthier looking chart. And you're kicking the potential to the upside. And the next, till the end of the year, I don't see why they wouldn't go target that high at 43.13 or wherever the hell it was here back of the 15th of August. That week, and they made a high of 43.2750. As long as and here another nuance here, they should respect this momentum level now. They should respect it, and we should take out this week's high next week if this is going to continue as a bullish scenario, medium term. What else you got, man?
Well, I was looking at, I was watching an interview with Peter McCullough. I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but he was talking about how there are now studies of mRNA showing up in non-vaccinated people that have either breastfed, so babies, or are having intercourse or sexual activity with a vaccinated person and an unvaccinated person.
Get the fuck out
30 days or less after the latest shot. And it's showing up now in people that have had those relationships. So then that made me go to the chart. That made me go to the chart of Pfizer, Bob. And we haven't looked at it in a while. We've looked at mRNA, but look at Pfizer. Look at the run again from $40 down here, $41 back up to 51 and a quarter. We're at 51.11. Slowly. Again, it makes sense. It's the shot season. Bill Clinton got COVID for the 17th time, and thank God he's been boosted and jabbed because nobody that hasn't been vaccinated gets COVID 17 times except the vaccinated. So
let me ask you this: so you can test to see if you have the vaccine spike protein in your body. There's a test.
That is correct. That is correct.
Well, first of all, price discovery. What is the high of that meaty profile?
That's like 54.5 or so.
All right, so I mean, you got an alert on that, I'm sure. 54.5.
Yep.
Because it's so clear. It is so clear and defined on that chart. Perfect.
Yep. Very
perfect.
So I found that interesting.
The other one too. I'm not sure if
and then I don't know if you saw this. You know who Daniel Crenshaw is, right?
Yes. Yeah. The eye patch.
The eye patch
WEF
Republican who is masked. He's a masked Republican who's really a Democrat. But here's his. This is in from Unusual Wales today. His new stock positions, 15,000. Just think about the numbers of this that he's buying. I don't know. Win, USO, Apple, Meta, Amazon, Google.
That's part of the WF front line.
I mean,
Line them up.
don't know
Line
if
'em
it's
up.
true. That's a lot of money. I don't know Dan Crenshaw has that kind of money, but
Well, he's a great
15,000 of Apple. That's like, what is that? That's like 2.5 million right there. At 150,000 a share.
Things that make you go,
I mean,
things that make you go,
I mean, he's basically,
Matt, while you're there,
if that's all true, he's basically put in probably 10 to 15 million in stock purchases there.
Do me a favor.
But it's interesting. It's all the, it's the FANG, which is now Mang, because it's no longer Facebook. And then he left out Netflix. I guess he doesn't watch television. Maybe he doesn't have a deal like AOC. And then USO is oil, Bob.
Matt, do me a favor. Up in your search there, type in Maxine Waters, because you have to see this tweet. No, leave it on there.
What do you want me to do?
Type in Maxine Waters in Twitter. You have to see her SBF tweet.
Where do I?
You're so slow. I can't take it. I can't take it. All right, Matt, listen, there's been a lot of chatter about gold. So while I bring this up, bring up the gold chart.
Yeah, gold's had a huge run. And the reason why, Bob, why, why we talked about it earlier.
Well, everything is one.
No, it's the dollar.
Follow the dollar brick road. I'm sorry, I forgot.
The dollar brick road. The only reason gold goes higher is when the dollar goes lower. And we've been going nothing but lower. We're at a new high yesterday on gold all the way up to 1820 because the dollar.
Bring it up. Yeah, bring up
because gold. Because the dollar made a new low yesterday, right down there at 104.50. So of course, I mean, this is what we're dealing with. 1618 all the way up to 1821. And again, 1825. We're just in these ranges. And again, everybody's getting all excited, but we're not breaking out. We're not going to new prices. Right?
No, we are not. But
and again, if the dollar continues lower, gold will go higher. It's as simple as that. And if the dollar reverses as it did, it will go lower like it did. It dropped $40 this morning from yesterday's highs. So it got down there to 1790 or so $30, excuse me. But the point is, just follow the dollar. The dollar tells whatever the dollar does, every other asset is going to do the opposite. Bonds, equities, gold. That's it. It's so monkey stupid right now. And if you're not
listen to me too, like this dollar.
I've been talking about it for so long, right? I mean,
I do not think it does not look to me like this thing that the dollar will. I think it's got a way to pull back here before it finds some support.
Yeah, well, we've talked about it.
I don't think that. I think my better level is 100. Is 100.
Well, that is a deep level that we talked about yesterday, so it's possible. Yeah, it's possible.
Follow the dollar brick. I'm going to have that in my head all freaking day now.
All weekend. Follow the dollar brick road.
Oh, unreal. All right, let me share this because this is where we're at with the AI showing the government lying. It's just crazy to me. And this is Maxine Waters. She's the House Committee chair on financial services. There's been a $12 billion rug pull, at least, right? And she's touting this young gentleman, SBFF, that we appreciate that you've been candid in your discussions about what happened to FTX. Your willingness to talk to the public will help the company's customers. The money's gone. How's that going to help? How's that going to help it? To that end, we would welcome.
Well, and then you saw Kevin. What's the Mr.
Oh, Mr. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Kevin? Yeah.
He and Ackman yesterday both tweeted, or Ackman did first, that and I think Ackman lost money with this deal. They both tweeted that he sounds legit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Again, the deep. It's a deep confusion at this point.
Why are they covering up for him when they lost money?
I don't know, man. You know what I got to do is I read this, right? I read this, and then I immediately think to myself, what the AI did for us. All right, this is your government. This is where we're at.
The gray men. They're all aliens.
This is where we're at.
Maybe that's it. They're all aliens. That's the reason why we can't understand them. We just don't speak their language.
What you notice is like the kid should be subpoenaed, right, to testify.
Yes, 100%. Again,
well,
you are
and
not.
maybe
You are
they're
not.
playing.
You are not doing your investigative congressional duties, doing what she's doing, which just points to me that somebody else needs to check into Maxine Waters because she's covering her own ass.
Matt, I will say this though, that it took it didn't take 2 months to subpoena Ken Lay. Maybe they got subpoenaed in front of Congress after Enron collapsed within a couple of months. I don't know what that timeline is, but
I remember it all. I remember it all, but
they certainly didn't get indicted right away. I mean, I think it was probably a year before they got indicted after the fall apart. Matt, I got to bring her up. She's crazy right now. There's a guest in the house, and Rita has gone banana. Rita, say hello to everybody. This is Rita. She's my special needs dog. I don't know who needs more, her, me, or me, her. Anyway, hi, Rita. What's going on, Rita? All right, what else do we got? Anything else? What do we got this weekend? We got
you got your Bills. Well, we got college football going on this weekend. We got the conference championships, in the NCAA on Saturday. Obviously, I'll be rooting as a homer, I'll be rooting for Michigan. Let's just bring up some lines here real quick because we can talk about those. And I've got those ready. Akron, Buffalo, flip a coin. I don't care.
You got to go with Buffalo, baby. You got to go. Bills built different. They are different, by the way, from Buffalo.
North Texas, and the University of Texas, San Antonio. I mean, you got to go with the UTSA just because they're 10-2 versus North Texas. Is Burt Reynolds playing for North Texas? That's all I want to know. And then you got USC, Utah. You know what? I'm going to take Utah. It feels like a trap line at 2.5 favored. I think Utah's going to win this one outright and knock out USC and put the Buckeyes back in. The Buckeyes are going to have to play Georgia. So, that's the problem with that. So you can cry all you want, you lousy Bucknut fans, but you're going to get your asses whooped again by Georgia. So good luck.
I gotta tell you, I love, and this is why.
And I hope they somehow upset Georgia so we can beat them again.
And you ask me why. All right, what
now,
else?
that being said, TCU and Kansas, again, this feels like a trap game. I would almost put money on Kansas here, getting 2.5 points. I think they could win outright, knock TCU out, which would also bring in Alabama, which I don't want to play Alabama, but I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I don't know what's going to happen if those two things happen. Toledo and Ohio, you're the MAC specialist. Who's going to win there?
Toledo, baby, all day long.
All right, Toledo's -2.5, so we're going with the favorite there. And then we got Coastal Carolina and Troy.
I go Coastal. We'll give it up for the Coast.
All right, you're taking the points +9.5. Tulane and UCF. Tulane's having a heck of a year. I'm riding the wave, the green wave.
The green wave, one of only 4 college mascots.
I think there's about 13, but
that have no S.
There's about 13, yes.
All right, so
that's okay. Anyways, that's an old favorite. We'll have to lay those out someday. Boise State again against Fresno State, the battle of West Coast unknowns. Go with Boise on the on the Smurf turf, and then LSU and Georgia. Georgia's going to win. I don't know if they'll cover that 19 points, but take Georgia. And then Clemson, North Carolina. They both lost last week, and they're both in the championship game. Go with North Carolina +7.5. And then Purdue, Michigan, again. The problem with Michigan is Corum is out for the rest of the year. He's having knee surgery. So we don't have our first string running back. But Donovan Edwards did run for 216 last week. His cast, but I'm just saying his cast is not off this week.
Right.
And so he's not going to I mean, I tend to say take Purdue in the points 16.5 as a Michigan guy. And I'll be rooting for Michigan. So that's kind of how I see the championship games lining up. And then on the NFL, I don't know if we have any double digits. Your Bills won last night. Lee, who do you like in the Vikings and Jets? You can give that to the fans because I don't care. I hate both those teams. And the Ravens and Broncos. Yeah, Ravens lost last week, so they're going to spank probably. And then there's really not. Let's see, the Lions and Jaguars battle 2, 4, and 7. So that could be a fun game to watch. Jaguars are playing well. Lions continue to be close in every game that they lose. And the Commanders and Giants, gosh, you got to take the Commanders. They're playing well, and the Giants suck. And then this one, who cares? Browns and Texans. Wow, I don't even want to look at that game. Bears and Packers, again, who cares? Nobody cares.
Only Bear and Packer fans care.
49ers,
especially a year like
this game looks fun. 49ers, Dolphins. I mean, that one has some significance. Seahawks, Rams. Seahawks will win. Rams suck. Chargers, again, Chargers need a win, and they're underdogs against the Raiders, and then Chiefs, Bengals, also on Sunday, and then the late night game, Colts and Cowboys. Wow, Yawner City, and then let's see, that is Sunday night. Monday night is the Saints, and yeah, the only one that's double digits is the Cowboys here, and that's the Sunday night game against the Colts. After what you and I watching that Jeff Saturday performance on Monday, they're bad. The Colts are bad.
They really certainly are, and Matt Ryan should have gone to selling cars or something.
Just buying a dealership.
Yeah. We got a request for to look at silver, and this is the weekly. Let's stick with the weekly, because if gold can rally, silver can rally, the dollar can break. It's the same as it ever was.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like this weekly momentum level now is important, and they've basically respected it the last 2 weeks. Next week, that's going to come in around 2180. 2180, the up momentum level on the weekly in silver. But again, these rallies, it's not telling a new story yet. Nothing is. Like, it looks like it wants to go probably to 2650 and retest this area here. But it should respect that momentum level now if this is going to be a real runner. We got a runner.
So listen, the next 2 weeks, PPI next week, CPI the following, right before FOMC on the 14th. So we're loaded to bear for basically doing nothing until these one-hit wonders like we've had this week. This week was the same thing. We had the Powell speech. Like, this market is so illiquid, has nothing driving it right now, that a speech where words were used and no actions were taken, just words.
Yeah,
we had a 4% rally, and then today we have a bad/good jobs hammered because good is bad, and we talked about this yesterday. If it's going to be good, it's going to go down, and it did. So,
all right.
I mean, this is not an easy trade. I mean, again, unless you were short coming in on the jobs, I wouldn't have bought that dive down there this morning, and it's just grinding up, and so. What are you going to do on a Friday? Like, I don't want to take a position over the weekend one way or the other right now, just because we got PPI coming. So you either have to trade really short term or just, give it a rest right now. And that's unfortunately where we are. This month is shaping up to be really one hit wonders after another. I mean, that we've had 2 this week. We'll have 2 next week, 1 next week, 2 the following week, at least. So it's all pinned on these one-time events that really don't mean anything either. So, and then, I did want to talk a little bit about the bonds, since we were chatting a little bit earlier on that. And I think, especially like the ultras, the UBs, there's a level up there at like 146. Again, in today's action, back to 145. If they can continue this rally, this squeeze, and it is a squeeze, because I don't think we're done with rates going higher. I think we're going to go, once this little hiccup is over, this 2-month hiccup, and it's been 2 months, and we're at 141 now. The high has been right about where we are, 141.19. And, again, to me, so we're breaking out here. You got all these levels, right? This is from August, 162 all the way down to 123, which is $40 basically. So half that is where we are. We're at the halfback. And if you were to draw just a simple fib on this chart here, over this past 4 or 5 months, again, you start to see 61.8, 147, but this 146 level, really from here, 144 to 147 is kind of a level that I would probably, start getting short and probably sell some, 152 strikes or something like that.
I like it.
Because that's still the point of control up there. But this is not easy to be long. I mean, you look at a chart like this, Bob, this is heavy lifting. This is super heavy lifting, trying to get more people to buy, right? On all of the breakout. Well, all breakouts are not the same. And this is not a momentum market, although the momentum is to the upside right now. It's not, I mean, if you bought down here on the second test here at 124, great. You've been riding it up. It's a huge move. 124 to 142, but where do you jump on now? Like, how high is this thing going to go? Is it going to get to 152? Maybe. But there's plenty of sellers all the way up here. Plenty of sellers.
I agree with that.
So,
all right, Matt, that's what we got.
And again, the yields, Bob, are still pointing to inversion. Nothing's changed. Just a lot of talk. The Fed will not be cutting rates on the 14th. I can assure you that. And this is still widening. The 2/10 is almost 8 points, 8.8 basis points. So the inversion's not going away. It's not stopping.
Bingo. All right. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please share and retweet. You can plagiarize anything that we say. I want to thank the shares today. Who do we have? Zero Hedge. We had the political cartoonist, and I got that from personalliberty.com. Personalliberty.com. I'm not sure else who we shared from, but Maxine Waters. Thank you, Maxine, for being so collegial, colloquial, so nice in your invitation to Sam to come. We welcome your participation in our hearing on the 13th. Not that we demand, now you have been subpoenaed and you better appear. He's still in the Bahamas, by the way. So
with a Canadian accent too, which is weird because he grew up in Palo Alto. Like, I'm just saying, he kind of looks like Justin Trudeau. Maybe he's Justin Trudeau's kid.
So he's
Castro lineage.
He's Castro's grandson.
Mm-hmm.
Bingo. Let's get that trending. Castro's grandson to appear before.
But like when you watch that interview and he says a boot, I'm like, what? You're from Palo Alto, supposedly.
If he says,
how about the question about, so do your parents have the place in the Bahamas that they bought with your money? And what did he say? I don't know. I
don't watch any of it. Only idiots would give that guy a portion of their day. So
I just listened.
I don't know what that says about you, but
I listened while I was walking the dog. So what can I tell you?
All right. Amazon.com for Shrimp Mojo, the best Cajun spice on the planet. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. That's it. Thank you. Have a great weekend, Matt. Visit us, marketvitals.io. Thank you.
Go Blue.